Assassin's Creed turns 15 years old this year and has a reputation that has been somewhat polarizing over the years. Ubisoft is a company whose reputation has been somewhat polarizing over the years. Their games can be put into three categories. 1. Completely bland and pointless experiences that just waste everybody's time and money, such as what's become of Splinter Cell or, quite frankly, 90% of modern Tom Clancy games. 2. Actual great games with even more incredible potential that come out buggy, broken, or just came out different to what was advertised, such as the original Watch Dogs, which had a graphical downgrade and was subsequently snubbed for it. And of course, who could forget the state of which Assassin's Creed Unity released in? And 3. Games that put Ubisoft where they are today, with legendary games and the Assassin's Creed franchise 1 through 4 being at the very center of their empire, so to speak. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag fits into the latter, and in a lot of people's opinions, the last great Ubisoft game. I personally disagree, as the Watch Dogs games are generally very good in my honest opinion, and even Watch Dogs Legion is an overall good experience if you can ignore the disaster that was online. I've heard good things about 2 of the 3 recent Assassin's Creed games, that being Origin and Odyssey, but I've grown up watching YouTubers such as Video Game Donkey shit all over the franchise so much that I just avoided it altogether. I've reached a point in my gaming escapades where I'm looking for new franchises to play as I search for new and hopefully fresh experiences. Last year it was the Sly Cooper games, and by the way, damn you Sony for removing the Sly trilogy from PS Now / Plus Premium. That's mighty inconvenient of you. This year it's Saints Row, Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed. As I was curious, I gave Call of Duty a chance, and it paid off in a big way, to the point I'm still thoroughly enjoying the games that I still play on the channel, such as Ghosts and Black Ops 3. So I thought I'd heard terrible things about Call of Duty, but I'm loving the game, so how about Assassin's Creed? So there I was inside my local CEX store, ready to buy myself my first Assassin's Creed game, with every game in there from this generation, from the Ezio trilogy to Valhalla. My eyes landed on Black Flag. I've always wanted a pirate game since those days I spent as a child with a PS3, seeing people with Xbox Ones playing Sea of Thieves, and I figured, hey, it'll have a little bit of piracy in there, but it will mostly be an assassin experience, so I may as well. And little did I know, I'd chosen both the best and worst possible experience for my first Assassin's Creed game. Now, before anybody gets mad at that statement, I want to explain that phrase. Black Flag is hardly an Assassin's Creed game, so I felt a bit duped. I wanted the Assassin's Creed experience, and I had basically stumbled onto a masterpiece of a pirate game, so it didn't quite feel like an L. More at the fact that my expectations were subverted in a way that was quite pleasant. Black Flag is one of the best games of the past 10 years and is quite accessible too. It came from the last generation of consoles, and despite the minor upgrade from PS3 to PS4 that games I still play like Call of Duty Ghosts got, coming to this game too, at first it did feel a little jarring to play, although it was something I quickly got over. The game puts you into the shoes of Edward Kenway, a pirate who appears selfish, charismatic and cocky in all of the worst ways, but has an undercurrent of believability and relatability to him in the form of flashbacks containing the distressing relationship with his ex-wife Caroline. This relationship is hardly important until the very end of the game, which I will get into later, and after becoming shipwrecked along with a former assassin, he learns of a scheme that he believes may earn him a bit of coin. This is where we witness a glimpse of the Assassin versus Templar rivalry that has made up the bulk of this franchise, but is hardly important till the very end of the game again. Assassin's Creed's entire premise quite literally takes a back seat in Black Flag. It's confusing why they even called it Assassin's Creed 4 in the first place. What's the point in the 4 when it's hardly an Assassin's Creed game? Sorry, I'm rambling, just a tiny nitpick that I don't quite enjoy. It's in this section where you learn the basics, how to perform assassinations, etc., and then the game loses its entire momentum and all enjoyment when you're thrust into the modern day storyline. Look, I know in every Assassin's Creed game before this that the modern day was important, but in this game and the other Assassin's Creeds that I've played, Rogue and Unity, it completely ruins the immersion and my enjoyment, and I end up just rushing through these experiences, these sequences, as fast as possible just to get back to the good bits. I only had the smallest inkling of interest in Black Flag's modern day because Olivier was someone you ended up killing as Aiden Pierce in a side mission in the original Watch Dogs. But after that brief surprise and low-key excitement seeing the links between the two games, the modern day sequences were just dull and just felt extremely tacked on. Don't even get me started on the fucking puzzles. It makes me look at the hacking sequences of Watch Dogs so much more fondly. Eventually, you get to commandeer your very own ship and get access to the West Indies, a vast ocean filled with a pirate's dream with a story that makes you believe it existed, that it was a living and breathing part of the world. I love the inclusion of sea shanties that the crew sing as you traverse the ocean. I love the inclusion and evolution of Nassau, the pirate's paradise, which eventually fails as the residents get sick due to the way of life becoming more and more restricted due to outside intervention. I really like James Kidd, aka Mary Read, and how unique of a character they are. Like Adewale, who we'll talk about later, she or he, whatever personality they're going with, frequently calls Edward's morality into question and becomes increasingly frustrated with him when he inadvertently brings destruction to the assassins through his actions with the Templars, who because of him know the location of the assassins' headquarters. And I love and adore the inclusion of legendary pirate Blackbeard and how they do his character justice to what I've read about him. It really took me back to the days of year 2 in primary school, where we learned about pirates with Blackbeard being the main one and scariest sounding. He's really one of my favourite parts of the game. I mean, look at this scene.
Ahoy! Any luck? I found one crate hidden beneath a school of sharks. Sadly, the elixir inside is quite spoilt.
Plague and perish. Will we steal medicines now?
Remember the pardon, Thatch. We're to be subtle.
Says Ornagold, a pirate, now too proud to call himself one.
And he prefers caution to cannons.
Caution's nothing without charisma. Or if a man plays the fool, then it's only fools he'll persuade, but appear to be the devil. And all men will submit.
And would you be the devil?
For an audience. Aye. All a big show. Give your quarry something to fear. Some hellish thing from a fever dream. And men will drop to their knees, pleading for their lord before aught else.
Oh, God. Looks fine.
Of course it does. You can find a quiet way to acquire medicines. Tell me soon. Otherwise, I'll handle it myself.
With our ship, we can not only sail the seas, but we can also get introduced to naval combat, which is quite a lot of fun until they start to overdo it a little bit. That combined with a player like me who powers through an enjoyable story and hence doesn't upgrade their ship enough, naval combat can become quite frustrating. Along with our ship, we're also introduced to our quartermaster Adewale, who was a former slave who escaped the Templars with us after Edward's identity is proven not to be the rogue assassin he was masquerading as. Adewale is a great character, to make a long story short, who calls into question Edward's morality and intentions, proving he's more than just a character who blindly follows Edward across the seas and becomes increasingly impatient with Kenway's obsession with a place called the Observatory. A place Edward learns the Templars are looking for, and something he figures could hold a lot of power and thus something that could generate a lot of income. This is where a person named the Sage comes in. From what I'm able to decipher from Black Flag and Unity is that it's someone who can be reincarnated, and he is looking for a way to resurrect a supernatural being from millions of years ago, I think. In Unity, he is Germain, who I don't know if he was real or not, but in Black Flag, he is Bartholomew Roberts, who was genuinely another real pirate, and I like how they tie in historical characters with the story. Something I learned through Napoleon's inclusion in Unity is a staple in the Assassin's Creed franchise, making Syndicate a must-play for me personally. Everybody is just after the Sage to find this observatory, and he just so happens to trust you, and so together you make your way there. Everything seems to rest on this moment, this object of power, which you find out is an all-seeing eye to everyone who donated a drop of their blood into it, meaning you can observe all the people who did it, which ties into the Templars wanting order, and also reminded me a lot of the Watch Dogs games and DedSec's fight to stop the powers that be from taking over people's life with invasive observations. Everything also seems to rest on this moment, as Adewale has already told Edward that the crew, including him, is getting tired of Kenway's mad obsession to get the riches he thinks can be gained from the observatory. Roberts tricks Kenway and tries to kill him, leading to Adewale and the crew deserting him and leading to Edward becoming imprisoned. It is here where Edward's character arc truly begins. After his failure, he begins to see everything in a different light, capped off by the death of Mary Read, whom he promises to make amends to, and begins to help the assassins.
Jesus, Ade, what the hell happened here?
You happened here, Edward. The damage you caused 6 years ago has not been undone.
I'm not an easy man to call a friend, am I? Is that why you're here?
To fight beside a man so driven by personal gain and glory is a hard thing, Edward. And I have come to feel the assassins and their creed a more honorable course. Have I been unfair?
No. For years I've been rushing around taking whatever I fancied, not giving a tinker's curse for those I hurt. And yet here I am, with riches and a reputation, feeling no wiser than when I left home. Yet when I turn around, look at the course I've run, there's not a man or woman that I love left standing beside me.
There is time to make amends, Captain Kenway.
Mary. Before she died, she asked me to do good by her, to sort out the mess I made. Can you help me?
Here the game eventually draws to its conclusion, with Edward regaining the device from Roberts after defeating him and taking out Torres, the leader of the Templars within the observatory. All in all, Black Flag has a great story that somehow manages to remain great despite its length, and I hope my detailing of the gist of the game's story has done it justice. I really enjoyed this game, but I can't help but wish that it wasn't my first Assassin's Creed experience.
Captain Kenway, ever a splinter in my side. Does this murder fulfill you?
I'm only seeing a job done, Torres. As you'd have done with me.
As we have done, I think. You have no family anymore, no friends, no future. Your losses are far greater than ours.
That may be. But killing you rights a far greater wrong than ever I did.
You honestly believe that?
You would see all of mankind corralled into a neatly furnished prison, safe and sober, yet dulled beyond reason and sapped of all spirit. So with everything I've seen and learned in these last years, I do believe it.
You wear your convictions well. They suit you.
I had a few problems with the increase in difficulty of the naval combat and my lack of funds to upgrade the Jackdaw, but that was nothing that could ever stop my eventual exploitation of the game's kind of shitty stealth system. You can be really obvious in this game and your enemies can be quite clueless, and I swear they just like to pretend you just didn't run out in front of them and hop into a bush. This goes for naval combat too. I mean, look at how I completed the game. Basically, I'd reached a point just before the final mission where it says to access it you need to take out 2 man-of-wars. I wasn't able to do this. The Jackdaw, I barely upgraded it most of the game, and then I ended up reading on Reddit like an exploit on how to get to this final mission, and that was to literally just swim round. That was it. I just swam round the 2 man-of-wars and I was able to reach the final mission. So, in conclusion, on-land stealth and combat is laughably easy. Naval combat can become quite challenging but has exploits, but god damn is that story worth it. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag has become one of my favourite storytelling games, and it's honestly so sad that Ubisoft didn't take the initiative and embrace it, enhance it into a proper online experience instead of only taking what can be seen as the most mind-numbing part of the game and turning it into the upcoming Skull and Bones. That game will most likely fail miserably and will become a testament to Ubisoft's failure, whereas Black Flag will become a testament to how great Ubisoft used to be by comparison. Thank you for watching.
And if you learn to keep settled in one place for more than a week, you'll make a fine father too. Of all the money that e'er I had, I spent it in good company. And all the harm that e'er I've done, alas, it was to none but me. And all I've done for want of wit to memory now I can't. So felt parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all.
Father, did you always know how to sail a boat?
The Jackdaw is a ship, Jenny, not a boat.
But did you always know?
No. No, I learned after leaving Bristol.
After you left Mother?
Well, I didn't leave without saying goodbye, that is. It was an arrangement, you see, between your mother and me.
She said you left her. She said you always talked about sailing a boat and making money in the New World.
I did always want to sail a ship. That's true. But not for a lark. To support us. To take care of her. And you.
Not me. Mother said you didn't know about me. She said you wrote only once a year and that she never knew where to find you.
That's all true, and I'm sorry for that. If I'd known earlier, I might have come home. I hope that I would have.
Well, you were busy. That's what I think.
I was, but that wouldn't have mattered.
Can I steal your boat?
Boat? I see no boat here. Do you?
I mean ship, obviously. I don't see the difference anyway.
Ah, it's a very simple one, Jenny. A ship can carry a boat, but a boat cannot carry a ship.
Why then, Everything is a ship. Large and small. But for my toy boat, the one I take into the bath with me.
That's a clever way of seeing it. Is it hard to talk about Caroline, Jenny? About your mother?
No. She passed some years ago. I miss her, but it's all right.
Was she in pain?
I don't know. I don't think so. She was very happy for quite some time. Then, not so happy. I didn't see her much after that. Then, she was gone.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I wasn't there for you.
It's all right. You're here now. And we're on an adventure.
Only a little one, I hope. Can't handle too many more surprises.
Do you think we'll see a whale?
Yes, there's a very good chance.
And what about pirates? Will I see pirates?
No. Not much chance of that, I think.
Oh, that's rather sad. I should have liked to have seen one.
Tell you what, Jenny. As soon as these winds die a little, I'll let you steer the Jackdaw. One little trick of the helm before sundown.
Yay!